Picture this. You are sitting on your couch, totally relaxed, maybe watching a movie or just staring into the void, when suddenly your phone screen lights up. It starts vibrating. Someone is actually calling you. In an instant, your heart rate spikes, your stomach does a weird little flip, and you stare at the screen like it is a ticking time bomb. You wait for it to go to voicemail, feeling a strange mix of guilt and sheer panic. Sound familiar? You are definitely not alone. Society loves to joke that we have all just become antisocial or lazy, but the truth is far more fascinating. Your sudden dread of that ringing phone has nothing to do with being rude. It is actually a complex neurological response. Today, let me show you the psychology behind why your brain absolutely hates phone calls, and why this reaction might actually mean your brain is processing information at a much higher level than you realize. To understand why a simple phone call feels like a threat, we have to look at how human beings evolved to communicate. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors interacted face to face. When you spoke to someone in the tribe, you saw their eyes, their hand gestures, the subtle tension in their jaw, and the way they shifted their weight. Your brain is a highly advanced supercomputer designed to process all of these visual cues simultaneously to determine if you are safe. But when you are on a phone call, you are dealing with a disembodied voice. You are getting the audio track without the video, and for your nervous system, that is deeply unsettling. Your brain is desperately searching for the missing visual data, trying to read a room that it cannot even clearly see. This creates an immediate cognitive deficit. You are essentially asking your brain to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing, which immediately triggers a low-grade stress response. Think about what happens when there is a pause in a face-to-face conversation. If you are sitting across from a friend and they stop talking, you can see that they are taking a sip of coffee or looking out the window or just thinking. The silence makes sense. But on a phone call, silence is absolutely terrifying. Without visual context, a 3-second pause feels like an absolute eternity. Your brain immediately starts catastrophizing. Did the call drop? Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Why are they not responding? Psychologists note that our brains interpret unexplained silence as a sign of social rejection or danger. In a normal conversation, micro-expressions fill the gaps, but on the phone, your brain has to work overtime to interpret the blank spaces. It is exhausting. You are constantly analyzing the tone, the pitch, and the pacing of their voice, trying to decode their emotional state, using only a tiny fraction of the information you normally rely upon. Then there is the issue of control. We live in an era of asynchronous communication. When someone sends you a text message, an email, or a voice note, you have the ultimate luxury of time. You can read it, process it, think about your response, rewrite it 3 times, and hit send when you are ready. You are in complete control of the pacing. A phone call, however, is synchronous. It demands your attention right here, right now, ready or not. It is an immediate demand on your cognitive resources. When the phone rings, it is basically someone loudly saying, "Drop everything you are doing and prioritize my needs in this exact second." For people who are highly empathetic or sensitive, this feels like a massive boundary violation. You are being pulled out of your internal world and forced into a real-time performance without any rehearsal. There is no backspace button in a phone call. If you stumble over your words or say something awkward, it is just out there in the open. This lack of a backspace button leads directly to performance anxiety. When you pick up the phone, you are suddenly on a stage. You have to sound engaged, you have to laugh at the right moments, and you have to formulate intelligent responses on the fly. For introverts or deep thinkers, this is a nightmare. Your brain prefers to process information deeply before reacting. You like to turn things over in your mind, examine them from different angles, and offer a thoughtful reply. A phone call strips you of that processing time. It values speed over depth. You are forced to react rather than respond. This is why you might hang up the phone and immediately think of 5 better things you could have easily said. Your brain was so busy managing the real-time social performance and monitoring the conversational flow that it literally did not have the bandwidth to access your deepest thoughts. You are not bad at talking, you just require a different environment to communicate at your best. Let us dig a little deeper into neuroscience here. When you are forced into this high-pressure, low-information environment, your brain often shifts into a state of hypervigilance. Because you cannot see the other person, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, becomes slightly elevated. You are listening so intensely for shifts in their tone that you start overanalyzing everything. If they say, "We need to talk," your brain immediately assumes you are getting fired or broken up with. This hypervigilance requires a massive amount of metabolic energy. It is quite literally a physical drain on your body. Have you ever noticed how you need to pace around the room when you are on a stressful call? That is your nervous system trying to burn off the excess adrenaline generated by the cognitive load of the conversation. Your brain is working so hard to synthesize the audio input that it needs your body to move just to cope with the sensory processing demands. But here is the perspective shift that nobody ever talks about. Hating phone calls does not mean you are socially broken. In fact, it often means you possess a high degree of emotional intelligence. You avoid phone calls precisely because you care so much about the quality of the interaction. You know that without the full spectrum of nonverbal communication, misunderstandings are highly likely. You want to give people your best, most thoughtful self, and you recognize that a phone call is a terrible medium for doing this. You protect your energy to offer genuine connection later. So, let it ring. You are not a bad friend for letting it go to voicemail. If this deep dive resonated with you, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. To support these psychological explorations, hit that join button to become a member. Keep protecting your beautiful peace, and I will see you soon indeed.